Hello everyone, and welcome back to Age of Noob. The devs have just surfaced more info on one of the 4 variant civilizations, and this time it's the Ayyubids. This civ variant used to have a vague name, previously called the Sultan's army. That said, the devs have since thankfully changed it to the Ayyubids, which fits significantly better with not only the rest of the civilizations, but thematically with the Sultan's Ascent DLC as well. As usual, the screenshots are upscaled, so let's dissect all publicly available info and dive right in. Let's begin with the general civ description first. At the confluence of continents where trade and science meet and where empires clash, the Ayyubids use their pursuit of knowledge to gain the upper hand. The House of Wisdom is the focal point of this combination of urbanization and science, unlocking powerful Golden Age bonuses and advancing through the ages. The Ayyubids focus on versatile units to gain a tactical advantage on the battlefield. The Ayyubids possess powerful camel cavalry that lay waste to enemy armies, while their imposing siege weapons flatten defenses. With the calculated use of their unique abilities, the Ayyubids can dismantle their opponent's strategies and tear into their forces. Although the House of Wisdom gameplay mechanic may seem identical to the Abbasid dynasty at first glance, the Ayyubids version is actually closer to the per-age landmark duality of other civilizations, as there is a choice to be made between 2 options per wing. Here's some more info on that. The Ayyubids select between 2 powerful bonuses at each wing when advancing to the next age of the House of Wisdom. The remaining wings will then increase their bonuses for the next age selection, offering endless strategic possibilities. Some present immediate value, while others bring long-term investment opportunities. The major strength of the Ayyubids is the ability to adapt their House of Wisdom to fit their needs. Before we dive into their unique units, let's further explore the wings and the choices they provide. The House of Wisdom will structurally still have the same economic, military, culture, and trade wings. The economic wing will allow you to choose between either growth or industry. Selecting growth will provide a group of villagers, while selecting industry will provide a shipment of wood. This is an example of what the devs meant as a one-time boost or a longer-term investment with the villagers. The military wing will allow you to choose either reinforcements or master smiths. Reinforcements will regularly produce desert raiders at the House of Wisdom, while selecting master smiths will instantly research blacksmith technologies. Theoretically, master smiths will allow for higher tempo and pressing the attack, while reinforcements will be great for the long game. The culture wing will allow you to choose between either advancement or logistics. Selecting advancement is both cheaper and faster to age up with, whereas logistics will produce a group of dervishes at the House of Wisdom and empower their unique ability, Mass Heal. And finally, the trade wing will allow you to choose either the bazaar or the advisors. Selecting the bazaar will unlock the ability to hire units and purchase resources from neutral merchants that arrive at the House of Wisdom. Choosing advisors, on the other hand, will produce a group of Atabey advisors, which can garrison in any military production building to improve the units trained there. Unfortunately, no further info was made public on either of these, so I cannot comment on how strong either of these options are. Regardless, it's clear that one is focused on late-game military, while the other is more honed towards economic and military flexibility. Before we move on, I'd like to also provide further clarity on this particular sentence shared by the devs. The remaining wings will then increase their bonuses for the next age selection, offering endless strategic possibilities. Just like how the wings bonuses change based on when you select to build them for the Abbasids, the same is true for the Ayyubids. For example, selecting growth under the economic wing will provide you with a different number of villagers depending on which age you build it in, and the same applies for the rest. Great, now that we've covered everything we know so far about the wings, let's circle back on the Ayyubids' unique units that set them apart from the Abbasids. As per the devs, the Ayyubids feature a unit roster brimming with tricky abilities. Early on, the Desert Raider causes confusion in the enemy ranks with its mastery of both melee and ranged combat. Wielding both sword and bow, the Desert Raider is a very versatile camel unit available at both the archer range and the stable. The Desert Raider is capable of quickly switching between ranged and melee combat stances, a powerful trick for mastering a dynamic battlefield. This should ring a bell for AoE2 players with how the Bengali unique unit, the Rathas, function in-game. Hence, the Ayyubid Desert Raider is a unit that will require an additional layer of micro based on what type of enemy unit they're fighting against. And given the fact that they're fast-mounted units, skilled players will be able to maximize their potential from the early game. The other unique camel units the Ayyubids have are the Camel Lancers, who have a tactical charge which deals more damage the further they travel before impact. The Camel Lancers have a lower cooldown on their charged attacks and can begin their charges from much further away than the regular Lancer they replace. In other words, you'll have to keep an eye out on these units, as being caught under their charge will be more devastating than your typical Knight line. The Ayyubids also get 2 unique siege units, the first of which is the Tower of the Sultan. Make no mistake, this is no meme unit, as this beast can fire arrows while ramming down buildings. Costing immense amount of resources to produce, this lumbering siege weapon demolishes enemy cities and is extremely difficult to take down. On a personal note, I found this unit to be way too large, as it's basically larger than most buildings in-game. I understand that they wanted to portray how menacing this unit can be, but I still believe that it should be 10 to 20% smaller than what it is now. Regardless, it's a scary, massive unit that will be tough to stop when supported properly. The second siege unit the Ayyubids boast are their unique Mangonel, the Manjaniq, which can switch to a fire projectile mode that deals devastating damage to buildings and units in a large area. One other unique unit that was mentioned but not expanded on by the developers are the Dervishes. Given that it's public that they're from the culture wing and have a mass healing ability, I believe it's safe for me to share that these are mounted imams of sorts, but they have a few unique abilities that weren't all covered publicly yet. All I can say is that you shouldn't sleep on this unit, as I believe that they're more useful than their roost counterparts. The one final bit of info that was released was the Infantry Support technology, in which the Ayyubids camels gain increased durability when supported by nearby infantry. To summarize, the Ayyubids House of Wisdom functions quite differently than the Abbasids, as you have choices to make per wing instead of unlocking a set of technologies like you do with the Abbasids. Functionally, it still serves a similar purpose, but the Ayyubid playstyle will differ significantly due to their unique wing structure as well as their unique units. In other words, expect aggressive playstyles to be a normal part of Ayyubid gameplay compared to the more boomy, defensive playstyle of the Abbasid counterparts. The Dervishes will play an important role against religiously strong civilizations, and the expensive combination of the Manjaniq and the Tower of the Sultan will be a devastating force to stop once massed. While I wouldn't consider the Ayyubids to rank amongst the highest in difficulty amongst all 16 civilizations, there is still a healthy amount of micro that you will have to execute with your Desert Raiders, your Camel Lancers, and your Dervishes. Hence, this will be a good civ for folks who like a bit of challenge but do not want to drown under the pressure of perfect execution. Well, that wraps up my summary of everything we know so far on the Ayyubids. As mentioned before, we will get new announcements at least once every week moving forward, so be sure to subscribe to Age of Noob and tune back soon to not miss out on the next announcement the devs will make. I will of course cover them as soon as I can. Many thanks for our YouTube members for their continued support, and please consider joining as a member if you'd like to support me further. Thank you. As always, thank you for watching everyone. Let me know what you think of the Ayyubids so far, and until next time, Assalamu alaikum.